Hi, everyone. It's Miss Akbari in the library. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the book Stamped by Jason Reynolds and Ibram Kendi. Um, a lot of you probably have read some of Jason Reynolds' books or have heard who Jason Reynolds is. He's written the book Ghost and that whole series. He has written the book Long Way Down. Um, he's a wonderful writer. He writes in a very approachable way. Jason Reynolds wasn't really a reader when he was in school and got into writing a little bit later in his life and really thinks it's important that every teenager gets excited about reading and writing, and has kind of made it his work to make sure that every kid has books that they would enjoy. He has teamed up with a scholarly writer, Ibram Kendi, to create this book, Stamped. And what this book is it's a history of racism in the United States, going all the way back to colonial times and right up until now. And what's so great about this book is it talks about a lot of things that you maybe wouldn't read in a normal history book or that you maybe wouldn't normally hear in a documentary, but that doesn't mean that things didn't happen or that it's not important. And he does a really great job of talking about some really tough issues in a very conversational way, in a way that makes history really almost a conversation, and a very easy to follow story. So, if you have been interested in social justice issues, if you've been following the Black Lives Matter movement, if you've been following the George Floyd protests, and all the protests that have happened either before or since then that revolve around racism in the United States, this is a really important book that you could read. It really makes you think, it makes you question some things that maybe you thought you knew, and it definitely makes you look at things a little bit differently. If those issues are interesting to you, we have a couple other books in our library that I would recommend. One of them is the graphic novel March. And this was written by John Lewis, who recently passed away, but he was an important figure in the civil rights movement of the 1960s. And this graphic novel talks about the march in Selma, Alabama, back in the 60s. We also just got a new book in called This Is Your Brain on Stereotypes. And there's a lot of research being done about the way we sort of treat each other based on biases that we have, kind of maybe mistaken ideas that we have that we don't maybe even know we have or mean to have. So, if you're interested in these issues, I would encourage you to come down and check out one of these books today.